interview. So, hey, is that avoid images? Okay, we're in there.
It's
now,
it says
I guess
this is recording.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We figured it out.
Or what happened before, and this is now the official interview, or so we want until we edit if we don't make it. But okay, fine. Okay, so this is Phil Isaacson here from the Friendly Smile Frenzy Network, and I have an amazing guest with us tonight. It is musical artist and DJ, as we know her in some parts, Sabrina Fallah. Hi, Sabrina. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, one question down, where to go? Okay, just kidding. And we have a new audience to you and many other of your favorite fans here, I'm sure. And most of all, our new audience wants to know all about you. So in less than 250 million words, or however many you need, just give us a little bit about yourself and why you love to be a musician and spread your music to the world.
Okay, so I'm Sabrina Fallah. I am an only child.
Well, that makes two of us. I am too. I just don't tell my brothers and sisters about it. No, I don't know.
Okay. I started learning the piano at age 10, and I think I rented a guitar when I wanted to, because somebody told me I couldn't carry the keyboard around, so I should learn the guitar. So instead of going to buy one, I rented it. And in less than 2 weeks, I just returned it and I bought a guitar because I'm like, this is me. The guitar is me. And then I write songs with my guitar and stuff. And why I chose this field to be in, well, let's just say I grew up in it because I was humming tunes before I could speak. And then I started writing in school short stories and poetry, then which led me to songwriting. I don't really have a musical family, but somehow I was surrounded. Somehow I was pushed towards that. And music, every time I heard music, I was like, that's what I want to do. If they can do it, I can do it. I just want to sing. I was just so into, I'm very passionate of music and music. So yeah.
Wow, that's great. And it's one of those things that really, for most people that succeed in music business, it's that they don't necessarily have to be trained as a classical musician and so forth and go the degree route, but it always starts with a passion. That's the thing that you always hear. It was my passion. Even if, let's say, somebody didn't know how to read music or something, they always, I picked up the guitar, or I just started playing the piano by ear. And all of a sudden,
I do that. I do that too. Sometimes I can listen to something and I can figure it out on guitar. But also sometimes if I want to learn a song online, sometimes when I print out the chords, sometimes I'm like, that isn't right. That chord is not right. So I would listen to the song and say, that's the chord. Sometimes people don't put it right online either. It's just different hearings. But also for different key ranges, right? To also transpose it too. So there's a lot of ways to play a song, and you can make it easy or make it hard. There's a lot of ways to play it the way you want to play it. And I like using bar chords and easy chords. I don't want to go crazy and use 10 and 15 different chords and get all mixed up. I want it easy. Because Green Day, Simple Plan, Bon Jovi, they don't use those hard chords. They're very simple, but their songs are amazing.
Right. A lot of times the lyrics are what carry the song, and the music's there to bring it along.
Exactly.
So that was one of the things that I was going to ask you, that you like to write your own original material, correct?
Yes.
And
yes.
Usually I know that, let's say, a lot of musicians are always asked, when you have a song, do you start with lyrics first, or you have music and then all of a sudden these songs, or it just depends on the particular mood you're in, or something when something just clicks with you, like a little catchphrase, or sometimes if a certain rhythm is in your head and just spinning around, and you sort of got to get it out.
It's very different, but recently what happened was the music came into my head and then the lyrics came. But normally I think of an idea and then the lyrics come, and honestly, I just have to grab my guitar and everything comes. I don't have hard problems thinking of a song to write. I can just think of any situation, or think of what people have gone through, and just think about what if I was in that situation, how would it feel? So I write about things that people go through so people can relate to
Very
it.
good.
Because if people can't relate to your song or have some kind of connection, I don't think they're going to understand what you're saying. So, or the song is just so good, but I like people to get help from my music. I like to help them through the messages. So,
okay, that's good to know. Okay, so what do you find most enjoyable about connecting with your fans?
Knowing how nice they are and how down to earth they are, and that how they can actually be friends. I've actually had supporters that I've known since MySpace days.
Wow,
and they're
I was there at MySpace, and now people go, "What's MySpace?" Where,
I know, because
the channel that pretends to be Pandora or Spotify.
I started on MySpace, so I have a lot of friends from MySpace that are actually actual supporters from MySpace that are actually my friends now. So I consider them all friends because I talk to all of them. I interact with them. I try to answer everybody. And I also like to be the one contacting and communicating. I don't think I will ever let anybody else talk to them for me, because I want that bond. I want to know what they want to hear, how they're doing, what they're going through, because that also helps me with what to write about, because you grab things from people as well. You don't just sit here and say, well, what do I write about? Oh, yeah, I remember that girl told me about that. I should write about it,
Wow, that's great.
Or I remember, it just came to my mind. When I first started, I was very, very, very young in the MySpace days. I don't even know when I had MySpace, but I had a friend who told me she lost her father at a very young age. And I asked her, can I write a song about it? I never released it, but I wrote the song and I sent it to her, and she cried. Because everything she told me, I wrote the song as if it was her talking to her father. And I still have it to this day. But it's not a song I'm going to release. I just wrote it for her, for her father. So, yeah.
That's fantastic, because that's one thing, the integrity of an artist, when they say, "Oh, I've got a song, this is going to be a huge hit," but when you feel the personal connection there, that you feel it was exactly that personal for that reason, and keep it private for them, and then they really feel that you were sincere about it. That, okay, I just
that song was just written for her eyes and for her ears, and if people want to hear it, I'll play it for them. But it's not something I don't think is something she wants me to put out into public. I don't think it was too personal to put it out there. It's not something that I can say I wrote about me. I wrote it about her and her father. So, and it's interesting. She told me a lot of stories and things that happened that gave me the idea for the song. So, yeah. I was very young when I wrote that.
Oh, well,
MySpace days.
That's one of the interesting things that that you mentioned things like that, because a lot of other artists I've seen write when suddenly they're visiting a patient in a hospital, and they see what the person's determination to get healed and everything like that, or the struggle while they're being treated and such. And
Yeah.
many artists feel that compassion with other people when they see what's going around, that they're not self-centered and just what's going on in my world and the fame and glory and everything. That's a lot of ways is a true connection in many ways.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so a lot of times, have you wondered to yourself, have you mostly written solo, or have you tried to collaborate with other artists?
I have collaborated
Okay.
on actually on all of my songs. Um, Basically, I write my songs and then I
Mm-hmm.
take it to a songwriter and then I make them more commercial. I choose the songs that I want to record and then they don't take away the idea. I tell them this is the story, this is what I'm trying to say in the song, but I like it, but I want it to sound better, more commercial. I need that hook. I need that melody. I need that catchy spot that's going to grab the listeners. So all the songs that I have put out were my ideas, but I co-wrote them either from scratch with the songwriter and they told me I could say the idea, or I brought them my folder full of songs and then we chose the ones that were easier to finish because you only have a certain amount of time to get the song written and then you have to go into the studio. So we had to choose songs that we could bounce onto it fast. So, but every songwriter I have co-wrote with are very different. They write differently, they think differently, and I've learned a lot. Because some of them will want to rhyme, some of them just write anything, some of them go through a formula. Me, I just write how I feel, and then if I have to change it, I'll change it. But I want to make sure that the story and the message is there. I don't want to put a song in front of them and then they change the whole thing. I'll be like, that's not the song, and that can happen, but I make sure it doesn't. I tell them right away, this is what the song's about. I'm not going to tell you who it is about, but this is what I'm trying to say. And then the songwriter might say, well, maybe we should put this here or this there and tweak this part. Yeah. And we play with a guitar. So
Mm-hmm.
as we're writing the lyrics, we're also figuring out the melody. So everything flows together. And it's I just love writing with other people because you might be stuck on something and they might have something that can help you get out of it. Because I can be writing and be like, God, I can't think of anything. And then they're like, oh, how about this? And they're like, oh yeah, right. It's always good to have somebody else in the room with you. But I also love to sit in my basement with my guitar, write songs down by myself. And then
Wow.
when it's time to put it out, I show it to someone. Maybe somebody says, hey, you don't have to fix it. It's perfect. Or they say, let's tweak it here, tweak it there. There's
Wow.
always something they're going to tweak. There's always
Sure.
something.
Yeah.
Somehow, either in the lyrics or in the music, there's always something that they're going to say you can improve upon. And
Great.
it can also be the slightest. It can be just one word change makes the whole thing jump. It's amazing. Just one little thing, you know?
Okay. All right. Now, the next thing that I was going to ask you
hmm
is if you had your so-called wish list, who
Uh-huh.
would you like to someday record with? And
Green
maybe put
Day.
out a duet or something like that. Yeah,
Green
or
Day.
maybe somebody's there watching or listening, suddenly says, aha, now I
Green
found
Day.
Sabrina. Green Day. Ah, okay.
I really think Billy and I should write a song together because he is amazing at songwriting. He reads a lot of books, so he tells a lot of stories. If you have heard the American Idiot album or 21st Century Breakdown, it's if you read the lyrics, it's like a book. It's a story going down. So I just would love to see what he would come up with if he and I wrote a song. And I don't even want to do a love song with him. I just want to do like this rocking out kind of thing, just rocking out, just doing all that stuff. Like it'll be or he asks me to go on stage and sing one of his own songs with them, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I know them all, man. So yeah, anything. Oh yeah, Green Day would be the first person I would be like, please, 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 or just let me stand on stage with you. I don't care. Just let me be there.
Okay, that's very good. I think that's great.
They are the reason why I'm in music. So they have helped
Okay.
me
And
through a
we
lot.
play Green Day on our station, so
Well, you better.
yeah, I know. Hey, it's like rock music does continue after 1985. It's got to be there. Even now, we play a lot of artists, and one of the big things that we do is, besides playing indie artists, is we play some of the classic rockers, but they're new material now that may not get the typical radio exposure just because they're not in the top 40 doesn't mean they're not producing good music. And
It's
that's one
because
of the
of the
things we
pop.
right.
Because
So
of
we
the
make
pop in the
sure.
industry. But
Mhm.
if you go to the rock stations, they don't really play Green Day's newer stuff. They play like Dookie.
Exactly.
They
That's
play like When I Come Around or She and stuff like that, or Longview. They're not playing like Revolution Radio or I'm Still Breathing, like those new stuff. It's because you know what? They don't even need radio as much because they're just so big that
Mhm.
I don't even think they're even caring if their song is spinning or not. Like we all know who Green Day is. So
Right.
it's not like we have to go to the radio. And most of the time, I don't even hear them on the radio because it's either they were already played or I just missed them. But I play them so much in my car. I don't really listen to the radio much. But I would love to be on mainstream radio one day.
Hey,
But
well, hey,
that'll be
us, you're
cool.
on mainstream. We feature you on our Girls' Night Out, and we're going to add some new songs of yours that you've told us about from your recent compilation. So that way we can get a more wider audience interested in your music as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your current compilation and some of the songs that you really think the audience is going to grab onto?
Okay, so my compilation CD was put together by my label because I got signed in January 2019 this year. And my label said, well, I want to put your songs out, but you already have them out. So let's put them all on like a greatest hits CD, but like it's a compilation. You put them all together on one. And then I put the songs in the order that I actually released them. So it's like it shows the order all the songs came out. And then they mentioned, do you have a song that we can put on that is that is new, so at least people get a new track. And that's
Sure.
when everything,
Right.
my
That
song,
way, the new
everything.
audience feel okay. I'm just getting stuff I already have. I want this new track as well, but I want to be able to play with everything else together as it comes together.
It's interesting. I just realized it. My new song is everything. So if you want everything, you get everything. You get it?
That's wonderful. That's a great thing.
Oh.
So I think
Yeah.
it's so. Why don't you tell us? We're going to play a couple of the videos after the interview, and why don't you tell us what a couple of titles are? And I know the first one. The first thing I thought of, I'm just wondering, curious, was Joan Jett, or is Joan Jett an influence? Because that's the first thing I felt when you played that.
The
I thought,
front line, isn't it?
yeah, it sounds a little like Joan Jett, which
Okay.
doesn't mean copy. You have your own original spin on it. But like I said, if somebody else was doing that, that I knew, what do I think about when I heard this song? It just felt, okay, you had the leather jacket and everything, and Joan Jett, and it was rocking away, and maybe even more like the Runaways than her solo material. But
Yeah. But
it
she's
felt like
she's amazing. She's great.
and then
I haven't really taken a Joan Jett song and sang along with her or learned a Joan Jett. I just happen to have a voice similar to hers. I'm singing the male bands, man. Like or I'm singing Evanescence or Avril Lavigne, or even Kelly Clarkson. But I guess I'm just born with that voice that sounds like her. But
Okay.
who knows? Like I do like her music, but I'm not like I'm gonna play it at my gig or anything. I'm not. I don't do that. But Frontline, yeah, I've had a few people ask me if Joan Jett is my influence. She's great, but yeah,
Okay.
influence. It's Green Day. It's Green Day's my influence. Green Day.
Okay. That's fine and
But
dandy. That's
Green
great.
Day and Joan Jett have performed together.
Well, I've seen Joan Jett twice.
Oh
Once in
yeah.
the '80s, opened for the Police, and more
Okay.
recently when she opened for the Who. And I
Oh yeah.
learned in my wiser age now to really appreciate that the hard work she puts in and everything, and just her energy and
Oh
everything
yeah.
that. So that's why that came to me when I heard the rocker, and then the other two songs were more little AOR type of stuff. They were both acoustic,
I
but
don't know
yet
who
they
those.
still type of things. The two other videos you had were just you and acoustic guitar in the
Yeah,
studio.
well, Hurt in my mind was more of like a soft Bon Jovi kind of feel,
Okay.
because I for some reason was told when I was recording it by my producer at that time that it has a bit of a tint of country sound in it. Somehow, some people say they hear a little bit of country in the music, a little bit,
Yeah,
but
well,
but
even
I don't hear
most
it. So
rockers, if you listen to some of their lyrics, you could put a country tune behind it. There's a show
exactly.
on CMT here in the States called
Hmm.
Crossroads, where they take a country artist and a rocker and they switch off with each other's songs, and then they collaborate at the end and do a joint set together.
Oh,
So I
that's
think
cool.
that's the type of thing where, like somebody like Garth Brooks and Bob Seger, that it wasn't the exact pairing, but things like that and the fact is that what came out of that, the Doobie Brothers' last album that they put out was called Southbound, where they had all these country artists uh, interpret their songs. And
Hmm.
then they did, I think, one song on the end of the art compilation. I can't recall at the moment who it was with, but with one of the artists themselves,
Hmm.
where they
Hmm.
recorded one of the Doobie Brothers songs. And I think they recorded it in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, and a few other things like that. So it's not uncommon. And let's say if you listen to some like Bob Seger albums, there's plenty hard rockers, and then there's songs that feel like they're country ballads, for example.
Yeah,
Anyway,
definitely. And
the next
I
thing,
like country too. There's nothing wrong with country
right, and
music.
that's a lot of country music is not just confined to the South areas or typical country places. It's
Hmm.
worldwide. I know here living in Chicago, there's always these country fests in the big shed palaces where they play in the summer concert series and stuff like that, where you have a lot of them just in combination, 3, 4 country artists together, you know, and plenty of the award shows are dominated. It's not just the Grammys these days. American music, country music awards, and various
Yes.
things are just worldwide.
Yeah.
International
Hmm.
things like that. So it's not just here in the States and such. So the next thing I want to know was what do you think to this point in time was the best advice anyone gave you? And if you want to say who it was, it's fine. If not, just what the advice was. Like
Hmm.
something like maybe your parents told you this or friends always said this and it stuck with you. Like, for example, the one thing that my father told me was always carry
Hmm.
a second set of car keys. And even though I've locked myself out or dropped them in the seat of my car, 1, 2, 3, I opened them up. And, this is 30, 40 years ago. And like, okay, to that day, they're always in my pocket. And if not, then like, I better not leave anything in my car. So something like that, something that's stuck with you to this point in time.
Well, I don't think I could say this is a specific person because a few people have told me this. Industry people
Life
and
lessons
people
about
that I
every.
know, they always say, don't give up.
Okay.
You will have days, like I've had my ups and downs. I've had days like really bad, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
I
my
think of the
God.
John Lennon song at that point. Nobody told me. Nobody told me there'd be days like these, right?
Yeah, so
Doesn't mean that ain't gonna
basically
happen.
is don't give up no matter how much pain and suffering and heartache you're going through to succeed in what you're doing. And and then I realized the small steps that I take. I put my song out, I get a show, I got some sales. They're all steps of success, but little ones that will lead me to bigger ones. And then I got to my label. Took me a long time to get there. I've been trying to get a label for a very long time. I'm very happy and blessed they took me on. But then from now with the label, I still have work to do, and I have to be positive and stay up and believe that more things are going to happen. But life is just so hard in general. It's not even the business side. It's just living in this world. It's not easy. But as long as you're strong and you can believe in yourself and have confidence, things can come true. But you always have to work for it. And nothing is going to come in your hand like that. I learned that. I learned that. No, I remember my dad told me, nobody's is ever going to give you something on a platter. You have to work for it. So, yeah, in this business, you definitely have to work for it.
That's for sure.
Nobody is going
Especially
to
with
come and
today's
say,
age, even
oh, you
the
sing.
artists that have been around for 30, 40 years, with rare exception, are putting out their own stuff independently now. I knew since like maybe the late 90s, Hall and Oates, even though they haven't put out a full
Yes, a
album
lot of
recently,
people
but
are doing it
they put out their
independent.
own push records and such. For the last 3, 4 albums were
And there's
independent.
nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong
And
with that.
even artists like Kenny Loggins, for example, I don't know if you're familiar with his other alternative country band called the Blue Sky Riders. He did that with Georgia Middleton, Gary Burr, who are a husband and wife team, and they put out their second album as a GoFundMe. So,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. I've seen people do that.
right. So that's the type of thing. And the fans contributed, but they did it because you feel you're really part of the team. You know, even with a little contribution, when they get a little
They got
work or something.
everybody involved. That's why. They were very close to their supporters, so they got everybody involved in their journey and in their project. So that's how it worked. If you want people to help you, you have to make them feel loved and wanted, and you have to be there for them. You know, you can't just ask them to give you money like that. But yeah.
True. And usually what I've seen with a lot of those is that, let's say when they've set the certain, the initial mark to get it going, the fans have usually gone above and beyond,
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's say they ask for this amount, and then all of a sudden it's 1.5 times because everybody just wanted to be a part of things. Okay. Well, we're going to be playing some of your videos, and we thank you so much for being with us here. And we look forward to playing more of your music on the Friendly Smile Frenzy Network. And one last thing, if you want to give a shout out to anybody, family, a special person, someone you know, or just the fans in general, go right for it. And we'll be happy to share that.
Maybe I'll just talk to them in general. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has supported me along the way on my journey, and also from the MySpace days. Like, so many of you guys are finding me still from even MSN. Crazy, huh? MSN. Somebody a few weeks ago said, "You remember you had me on MSN?" I'm like, really? Yeah. So I've been around, and thank you for being there. And
absolutely, we definitely encourage indie artists like yourself and those that need to reach a larger audience, especially in a situation where you're originating out of Canada and maybe a lot of U.S. audiences now. This is the first time they're familiar meeting you and going to listen to some of your music. So we're very glad to have you on. And in the process earlier this week when you said, okay, wow, I'm in touch with my fans here. Let's see if we can do something. And that was like ideal, like a light bulb went off in my head. I said,
Yeah,
wow, yep,
definitely.
this is the time. And it was like, you know, from up above, right? The message. Yeah. So I am so glad. And we've been friends for a while, but I've really gotten to talk with you while we were trying to arrange this. So I definitely will be staying in touch, not just on the Facebook end, but checking in with you to see how things are going and stuff, because not only are you a guest here, but you are a friend of the station, and we look forward to playing your music now and for a long time to come. So thank you very much, Sabrina Fallah, and everybody. Sabrina, why don't you tell everybody one more time how they can get your music and where it's available and so forth.
Well, they can go to my website, sabrinahfallah.com, and at the top of the page, I have my YouTube link, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Snapchat, Sabrina_Fallah, and my iTunes link. So if you would like to buy my music, I'm on iTunes. I'm also on other digital stores. I'm on Amazon, Spotify, Rhapsody, the list goes on. So
that's
Apple
okay.
Music,
So I'm expecting
Apple Music.
everybody to suddenly start liking her page, downloading her music, and making Sabrina one very happy lady.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, and thank you for joining us, Sabrina.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Take care. All right, I hope that was what you were looking for.
It's still recording, eh?
Oh, let me